Hey guys, this is Ty, and man, did he make my job so easy during the summer. Some things to know about him is he's really independent and he's a fast learner. So at numerous points during the program, he called me over, he'd tell me there was something working, I'd suggest a solution, and I'd come back and he'd implement something completely different. And this would happen a few more times, and I began to realize he was kind of just telling me and informing me there was a solution rather than asking for help. Which kind of made me question who the instructor was. But another thing to know about Ty is a really great calm demeanor. He sat at a group of 4 teenage boys, and it was a little tricky to do it. Sometimes a Lord of Flies situation, but I was like the voice of reason, always staying calm. And he worked so hard on his project, added a bunch of personal modifications that I'm really excited for him to share.
Hi, my name is Ty, and I'm an incoming sophomore at Lee High School. The project that we're working on this summer is the gesture control car, and this four-wheel drive car can be controlled by tilting the glove that's on my hand. I chose this project mainly because I thought it would look cool, but also to get the opportunity to learn about Arduino, electronics, and coding, which I've had much experience with before this summer. Here's a demonstration of the car. The car can drive forward, can drive backward, and also turn left and right. It also has different speeds too, so the further you tilt the glove, the faster the car will go. To make this all happen, I have an accelerometer connected to a microcontroller on the glove. And this accelerometer uses a gyroscope to measure the tilt of this glove on the X, Y, and Z axis. The microcontroller takes this data and sends it through this Bluetooth module. The Bluetooth module is paired with another one inside the car and is connected to another microcontroller. And this microcontroller converts the accelerometer's data into functions for the motor driver to then move the wheels. This motor driver is important because it includes 2 H bridges, which allow the current to be reversed into DC motors. This works because by reversing the current, the only thing that changes is the motor's direction of rotation. This is how I'm able to get the motors to drive both forward and backward. After completing my base project, I started implementing some modifications. And the first thing that I added were 2 sensors, there's one on the front of the car and one on the back of the car. And they're able to stop the car automatically if it's getting too close to an object. So for example, take this box. Have the car drive up. I'll stop right there to prevent it from crashing. Next, I designed some custom parts in Fusion 360 that got 3D printed. So I have boxes for the Arduino Uno microcontroller, the motor driver, and the 2 sensors. And I also have a case for the car. So there's a bottom casing and top casing that's easily removable to access all the parts on the inside. Finally, I added 4 LEDs, so there's 2 yellow ones at the front as headlights, and 2 red ones at the back that only turn on when the car is braking. When designing this car, I came across many challenges. The biggest ones had to do with the Bluetooth connection and 3D prints. While trying to figure out the Bluetooth modules and setting them to only connect to each other when powered on, I came across a few issues, but I was able to solve them by researching what my problem was and what I was doing wrong. With the 3D prints, sometimes my measurements weren't accurate, or the printer didn't print accurately, so I had to use various different techniques to make sure all my dimensions were correct. So for example, I used a Dremel to remove excess plastic that was getting in the way, and I used a drill to widen screw holes that were too small. I needed to do this because this was faster than just reprinting the part, because this will take more time and more material. I learned many things at Bootstrap, but the biggest ones were how to use and code with Arduino and about electronics. Although I've coded before, I can code it in C++, which is what Arduino uses, so I had to learn a new coding language to be able to program this car. I've also never touched electronics before, so I've had to learn from something as basic as turning on and off an LED, making this whole car function properly. In the future, I want to continue refining and editing this car, make it more reliable to use, maybe adding some more modifications too. Thank you.
How long did it take to CAD the case for the car?
They didn't really take that long. I like CAD, so it was pretty fun to design that. So, yeah.
What was your favorite component to learn about?
My favorite component to learn about was probably the motor drivers because I thought it was pretty cool that I could have the motors drive both forward and backward just using 2 ports. Yeah.
Did you ever have any issues within like the delay of your Bluetooth module to your glove? Like with your did you have any problems and like how would you have solved them if you did?
Yeah, I had a few issues like getting the movements to respond on that one because sometimes it gets pretty laggy. So mainly it's just like sometimes the code runs for too long and just some little delays get added up. So just by resetting it, it will probably like make all the lag go away.